Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. Faith, if you haven't met me yet. I'm joining from the Hautes-Pyrénées in southwest France. It's a bit of snow on the mountains here, and it's very blue skies. So as you see, if you haven't come before, we all like to share about what the weather's doing where we are. So feel free to tell us what's happening where you are this morning. And I'm very happy to be here this week with Christine Kupfer. And yeah, right. And our theme, continuing on our theme for the daily meditations that we've been doing all of this month on fear and fearlessness, Christine will be guiding us into the territory of fear and fearlessness in times of uncertainty. So do let us know as well how you're enjoying this kind of daily meditation focus of 1 month at a time instead of 1 week at a time. It'll be interesting to know if you can just drop a message in the chat if you like it or not. And so a little bit about Christine, if you haven't sat with her yet. Meditation has been at the heart of Christine's life for 33 years. She engaged in Zen as a young adult, looking for who she really was. And later she completed a postgraduate degree in Buddhist psychology and mindfulness-based psychotherapy at the Karuna Institute in the UK. And some of you might know we've got a course coming up with Johnny White from the Karuna Institute focused on trauma, as a side note. So Christine also has a long-standing relationship with our guiding teacher at Sangha Live, Martin Elwood, and she also trained with him to teach mindfulness. She currently lives in Switzerland, in Geneva with her family, and continues to teach meditation and support people on their spiritual and personal journey. So welcome, very warm welcome to you, Christine. Thank you for being with us this week. I'll be here supporting as well all of this week. So if you have any tech issues, just drop a message in the chat and I will try my best to help you. But often what we find the best thing to do is either just log in and out again, log out and in again, or refresh your browser. And often that can really do a world of good. So a little bit about how the session runs. I'll log off in about a minute and Christine will take over from there and give us a little bit of guidance, setting the theme, and then we'll go into meditation for approximately 30 minutes. And then we have around 15 minutes for questions and answers, sharing, inquiry, whatever you would like. It's a very precious time with our teachers, so use it. You can either type a message in the chat, and to do that, we ask that you type the words question in caps, just so that Christine and I can differentiate the questions from the rest of the chat. And another option is that you can try and come on screen. That's always great when it works out. So it's worth giving it a try. If you would like to do that, there's a little raise your hand icon. It looks like this at the bottom of your screen. If you click on that, then I can invite you to come on and you can dialogue directly with Christine. All right. And then the last thing to say is that most of you know, but if you're new, all of these sessions are run on the beautiful Buddhist principle of dana, which means that we offer these completely freely from Sangha Live, from Christine. Christine shows up, prepares talks, prepares the teachings, and it's all run in the good faith that we're financially supported by the community. So there are different options to support. You can do it today, you can do it on Friday, and of course, if you're not able to support this week, that is also totally fine. That's how the principle works. The rest of the community hold us up together. But I will pop the link in the chat, and we're very grateful for all of your donations. All right, so that's it from me, Christine. Have a beautiful session, and everyone else too. I'm looking forward to sitting with you all.
So, hello friends, welcome. I'm happy to be with you today. I'm happy to meditate with you this week. As Faith just said, meditation is my passion. Meditation is my refuge. Meditation is my life. May it be formal or informal meditation. So throughout this month, different teachers talked about the topic of fear and fearlessness. And my theme this week is focused on uncertainty, fear and fearlessness in the face of uncertainty. My mother, who died last spring, had a line from Winnie the Pooh, Scotch Date, next to her bed on the wall. The line goes like this: always remember that you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, wiser than you think, and more loved than you know. This line sums up well our program for this week. Fearlessness is first a matter of remembering that the resources from which we can draw from are much greater than what we believe, are much greater than what we think and what we know, from the limited perspective of our small self. In the face of fear, we need to learn how to trust beyond our identification with small self. And we need to learn how to trust the resources that are here, the resources of our true nature. So today, we will discuss the theme of courage when the body is contracted by fear. Even in the midst of fear, when our instincts would be to jump out of our skin, there's always a way to come back to confidence and a sense of painlessness. I actually learned this when I was at Karuna Institute training as a mindfulness-based psychotherapist. Tomorrow, we will address the same theme, but on the mental level, through the door of the thoughts and the mind. So how can we think wisely when fear grips us? On Wednesday, we will address the fear of ourselves and how to love the whole of our experience and all the different territories that are within us, light and dark. Remembering that love is always loving us. On Thursday and Friday, we will delve deeper in these same topics. What I will offer this week is very much based on my own experience, on my own practice. I'm a better practitioner than I am a theoretician. Let me start this talk by saying what I will not say. I will not tell you that I am not fearful. I'm not free from fear. I will not tell you that because it wouldn't be true. But what is true is that for the past 6 years, I've been taking a crash course in fear and fearlessness. And so, for the purpose of this course, I will tell you part of my story. It's not that my story is particularly interesting or different than yours. We will all be faced with uncertainty sooner or later. This sense that life is pulling a rug under our feet. We will all be faced with illness and death sooner or later. So here is the story. My beloved husband suffers from a life-threatening kidney disease. So the fear of losing him has been with me now for quite some time. And because I wanted to secure a better life for him, and by extension, a better life for myself, I decided in 2018 to donate him one of my kidneys. It seemed like a much better prospect than dialysis, which was the other option. Changing blood on a machine 3 or 4 times a week. Donating one of my kidneys was one of my very first conscious experience in fearlessness. I was quite surprised myself to experience no fear. Perhaps it was because I am in good health. I've never been hospitalized, nor had a serious illness. So I have no traumatic memories of body being in a painful state, a life-threatening state. So I wanted to help, and it was the right thing to do. I remember the nurses and the doctors telling me, saying that I was a hero, but it sounded strange to me. Strange because it wasn't my experience. I wanted to help, and it's what I did. And my husband and I are interconnected. So if his life was threatened, my life was threatened too. My well-being was intimately linked to his. Taking care of him was taking care of myself. So come back to fear, and I made my decision. I didn't give any consideration to fear. I didn't let fear come in and take over my mind. And it sort of paved the way and gave me a benchmark for the future on what it means to act fearlessly. And donating a kidney has certainly made a better life for us, since my husband hasn't had dialysis yet. But it's not the end of the story. Donating a kidney did not save my husband from illness and will not save him from death. The goal of protecting his life, of securing life against illness, failed miserably. It sounds childish, doesn't it? As if it were possible to secure ourselves and our loved ones from illness and from death. But although I knew about this somewhere in my mind, still it came as a shock when a few months later my husband started having complications. Reality was catching up with us. There were many episodes, and today, 6 years later, we are at a similar point as we were before the transplant. It's not that I regret anything, but the truth is, by donating a kidney, all I've done is to ward away future death sentence. The death sentence we all know. Today, my husband's health issues are different, but all the same, my husband's health, especially over the last 6 months, is going downhill rapidly. And so after the experience of donating a kidney, which was for me, a benchmark for fearless action and a fearless life, over the next years, I faced many situations of fear. Through the manifestation of anxiety, what if this happens? What if that happens? Fearful thoughts about the present, about present life, my present life, and about the future, imprisoned me. The sense that my life was shrinking, no future, waking up at night, terrified. One of the things I learned gradually was to not be afraid of myself, to not be afraid of what I was feeling. Learning how to feel my feelings, to be in a loving relationship with all the inner territories of my life that were affected. It was about relating lovingly to all that was arising in me, the shock, the deception, the satisfaction, deep sorrow, anger, helplessness, numbness, hopelessness, and all different forms of and degrees of fear like concern, control, anxiety, dread. I often had the feeling that this was all too much for me, and that I would rather just opt out, as if I had a real choice. So yeah, showing up, showing up every time, and every time something new to discover about life itself. Learning to relate to uncertainty has been a big discovery. The truth is that we can't secure our lives against the uncertainty of life. So learning to relate to uncertainty is key. It's a lot about coming back to presence. Presence is an antidote to fear. Coming back to the body. Being present with all here. Finding resources in the body, resources in the heart, resources in the mind. Presence is about showing up. Presence can find confidence in the midst of what is moving, of what is changing. There's something about the posture in meditation. Body on the ground, head touching the sky, between heaven and earth, showing up here, finding our seat. Sort of like being on a horse that is moving, finding confidence in the belly. Opening our chest to meet everything with love. Opening our minds to meet everything with space. So let's meditate. Oh, just a few more words before we meditate. When we are afraid, this is a practical thing. When we are afraid, our nervous system can go wild. So we need to know how to calm down. And some simple, deep breathing exercises can help to calm our nervous system. So we can do this before meditation. So here's the exercise. We can do it all together. I call it the bumblebee. It's sort of the insect version of chanting. There's something humorous about it that I like. We can do this with children when they're afraid. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it about 4 or 5 times, taking deep breaths. So you take a big in-breath, and on the out-breath, you make a sound as if you were an insect. For example, a bumblebee. You do and you continue with the sound until the very end of the out-breath. And then we take another in-breath, and we do this 4 or 5 times. So let's go. 4 or 5 deep breaths. And now, as we find our seat, can start by turning our attention towards the body, and finding in the body an okay place, a place that feels okay right here. Something very simple, perhaps in your extremities, feet on the ground, or hands resting on your thighs. Or any other place in the body that feels okay right here. A safe place. A safe place in the body is helpful when we're dealing with fear. There is always a place in the body that is okay. We find this okay place through the felt sense. And when you find that place, that very simple, okay place, you rest there. How do you know that this is an okay place? Well, you can perhaps name the qualities that you are feeling. Perhaps there is a sense of this place being neutral or safe. Perhaps it's cool. And noticing how you are feeling when you're relating to this safe place. Perhaps some calmness is seeping in. Perhaps a sense of space is seeping in. And from that sense of safety, you can become present to our posture, knowing that we can always return to this sense of okayness anytime. Body on the ground. body weighty, body large. There is a sense of stability. And from there, exploring our uprightness, our spine growing towards the sky. And settling more and more. Our belly is soft and supple. Our belly is alive. Our breath is coming and going. Sounds are coming and going. Sensations are coming and going. And in the midst of this flux, body naturally finding its balance. In the middle of this flux, everything moving, finding our balance, our natural balance. It's sort of like sitting on a horse. We can feel the aliveness, the movement, the warmth of the horse's body under our seat. Come one with the movement of the horse. Our body is supple, agile, embracing the movement of the horse, embracing the movement of life. Relaxed. Our chest is open. Our mind is spacious. Everything streaming through. Sensing all the movements. The movement of breath coming and going. The movement of sounds. The movement of sensations. And our body finding its natural balance in the midst of movement. Relaxed. Knowing that we can always come back to an okay place in the body. Something very simple. showing up here. Riding our horse. Riding the horse of life. With dignity. Here we are. Accepting it all. Slowing down when we need to slow down. Caring for it all. This precious breath. Coming and going. This stream of sensations. Flowing through. Freely. May we all find freedom in the midst of uncertainty. May we all find peace. In this changing world, this ever-changing life. Right here. Okay, so maybe we need to stretch a little bit. I will. Okay, so now we have a little time for questions or sharings. And if you want to say something or share something, you can just write question in the chat or come on screen if you wish. And in the meantime, we can just stay connected. Stay connected this time with our eyes open. I see in the chat that many people had problems hearing. I hope that was fixed. And yeah, if there are no questions, that's fine too. It's raining right here in Geneva, and I can hear the raindrops on the windows. Nice. Yeah. Thank you for your words in the chat. And yeah, I know the bell doesn't sound very good. I'll try to bring it less loudly tomorrow. Oh, here's a question from Lean to Bukaler. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name well. So the question is, dear Christine, how best thoughts that create fear when you know they are not true, but it feels very real? Can you ignore them when you know they are just thoughts? Or is it best to be compassionate for the fear it creates? Very good question. I think both things are good. Sometimes it's best to just ignore the thoughts, especially if we know they're not true. And we'll talk more about this tomorrow. And also, compassion is key. Bringing compassion to the body, actually, really is soothing. Yeah. So both are excellent ways to meet fear. So if there are no more questions and sharings, maybe we'll stop here. So have a lovely day, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Thank you.